please. Kind of go every other or so. I think we've got about 60 folks here tonight. I've got folders here with all the forms that I'll be covering. I understand that not everybody is going to be able to see in detail what's going to be on these forms, so I'll give them out to you so you can look at that way. Where's mine? Cover some of this here just a second. While you're getting those, I'm going to read a passage of Scripture to you. You say, what does that have to do with paperwork? 1 Timothy 4, verse number 13 says, "Till I come, give attendance to reading." You say, what does that have to do with anything that we're doing here tonight? Well, in context, probably nothing. But if you do not read these forms before you fill them out, all right, it is only going to make the process far more complicated than it needs to be. We've simplified these as much as we can. We've put it in plain enough English as we can. But please read, if you're picking up, for instance, an event form, please read entirely through that form before you fill it out. All right, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a form that somebody turned in and they're like, well, I thought I was getting this, or I thought you were doing that. And I'm like, no, it's on the form. You're supposed to read it. So give attendance to the reading there, if you would, please. All right, I understand this is paperwork and it's boring. Let me set my Bible up here. Brother Tristan, can we get that next slide, please? Well, there went my audio. Who knows? There was a screaming man yelling, "Help me." It was intended to wake everybody up, so now you're all going to sleep. No, it wasn't me. It sounded more like Brother Tristan, actually. All right, paperwork. This is what happens in the office when you do not fill out paperwork properly. All right, this is myself. This is Mrs. Ingram. This is Mrs. Fiesler. Miss Tina, we're all scrambling around trying to find out what in the world's going on because somebody did not fill out the paperwork correctly. So this is why I say give attendance to reading. All right, next slide, please. Help. Go ahead. Oh, there it is. He's out of range. All right, first one up, we're going to be covering the levels card. If you got your folder there, you can look at these. If you're in level 3, very simple. All right, which preaching service did you attend this week? If you attended all of them, just check the box. This is not that hard. Level 4, same thing. Which preaching service? Did you reach out to any members or visitors or members of your group? Did you participate in organized outreach? That translates as soul winning, okay? Thursday evening, Saturday morning, or something other. Did you bring the Lord his tithe this week? That's very important. All right, don't forget to tithe. I'm not going to go on a big rant about it, but please don't rob God. Down there at the bottom on both of these, okay, it says signature. Now, I know what y'all are thinking. Most of your handwriting looks like doctor's handwriting, chicken scratch. Mrs. Ingram, myself, Miss Tina, Mrs. Fiesler, we can't read your hieroglyphics, okay? Please just print your name. It's simple enough where we can track it. All right, you say, well, I don't want them knowing if I was here or not. Shh. Okay. All right, just print your name, please. All right, next form. Simple. We're moving quickly. This one. This is my pet peeve. All right, this is the maintenance request form. Before we get into this form at all, please pay close attention. All right, with the number of buildings that we have here and the amount of things that can possibly go wrong, do you know how many maintenance requests we get in a week? I can't count, all right, because I'm from Alabama. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but we have a lot of maintenance requests that come in during the week. Do you know how most of them come in? Anybody want to take a stab at how most maintenance requests come in? It's usually somebody catching myself or Brother Tristan in the foyer saying, hey, there's a light bulb out in the ladies' restroom in the back corner. Well, we don't frequent over there. Okay? Please fill out the form, drop it in one of the communication boxes. One of the secretaries will pick it up, and they'll drop it on our door, whoever it applies to, and then we can look at something, and it can be a reminder to us. So that way, in 2 weeks, when we forgot about your light bulb that's in the bathroom and you're sitting on the toilet in the dark, that won't happen, all right? Because we'll remember. So please, fill out the forms and turn those in. That way we can get those taken care of. All right. Here's how you'll fill these out if you're looking at them there. All right, up at the top, you'll just put your name. You'll put the date that you filled it out. Priority. Notice this, all right? Very few people read through the entire form because I see how they fill these out. They think priority, number 3, is the highest. Read. You see the asterisk up here? All right, what does that usually mean when you're reading books or articles? You see an asterisk, usually look to the bottom of the page, and it'll tell you. There's a legend down here. All right, you can't see it from back there. Number 1 is high priority. Number 2 is medium. 3 is lower priority. All right, if you've got an overflowing toilet and it's spilling out everywhere into the bathroom, yeah, it would be a 1. I've had it where people filled them out and they put it as a 3. And then I go in and the bathroom's underwater. Okay, so please understand the priorities that go in there. All right, the maintenance issue, plumbing, door, drywall, electrical, flooring, other. Let me say this again. For other, if you're going to write it and the specific problem, please write it to where we can read it. All right, because some people have put their name and what the issue was, and I couldn't read any of it. I didn't even know who to call. Okay? So please make it legible. All right, location. This one's kind of cut off here. All right, auditorium building, office building, 2-story building, college building, Spanish building, other. I don't know what other buildings we have. Well, we got the shed down here. All right, and then everything else thereafter is to be completed by office staff. So please, when you're doing this, when you're filling out this form, read through it carefully. All right, it only takes about 30 seconds to read through the entire thing. Just take your time, read through it, and fill it out properly. All right, next slide, please. Where do we find these forms? That form is going to be in the communications box up in the office, just off of the receptionist area. And you can go in there and you'll find slots for all of these forms. Thank you, that's a very good question. All right, next one. These are event forms. Auditorium events. Okay, I'm going to read through these. Some things have changed since last year. You say, well, why are we going? Because things have changed. And as many times as I'll say, read the form, some of you still won't. So we're going to read through this together. Before your event, all right? And I'm going to make some emphasis here. Before your event, complete and email these forms. Do you remember what I said about back at the beginning, being buried in paperwork? Okay, we're in the 21st century. We're trying to get away from large stacks of paper. Okay, Mrs. Ingram doesn't need any more paper in her office. She's got plenty. Okay, so if we can make this more digital, where we can just, hey, click and look at it instead of having to go sort through files to find it, that'd be great. Okay, so if you don't care about me and how I have to deal with all of this stuff, at least care about Mrs. Ingram so she doesn't have to organize all of this. All right, so complete the form and email it to the address you'll see there on the form that you've got. It is info@tbctexas.org. Okay? Just because you submit a form doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be approved. All right? Let me say this, and this wasn't really a part of my notes here, but one of the things that we would like to do with the number of events that we have throughout the year here on the property, we have a ton of events. If I had to guess, we probably had anywhere between 70 and 80 events and event forms filled out last year. Okay? With that amount of events going on, this property takes a beating. Okay? Everybody can look around. For anybody who's been around here for more than about 2 months, you see the flooring in here. Very nice flooring as opposed to the tile that was underneath there, right? Okay? We've made some improvements, but we would like to keep those improvements in good working condition. Part of the way that we can do that is cutting down on the number of events that we have here at the church. That's not to say that we don't want events happening here at the church, but we would like to cut back on some of those. All right. For instance, not everybody has to have, their birthday party up here. Birthday parties can be held at your house. I mean, I don't know that I ever had a birthday party that was ever held at a church. Of course, I never really had many celebrations, and now I have PTSD. Yeah, feels sad for me. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got a card and said, get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Please, Mom, I hope you're not watching. I'm just kidding. My mom's coming here in a couple of days. She'll kill me. All right? But we are trying to cut back on the number of events that we have. So if you're planning events for this year, and you think, okay, this is something that I could have off property that's not going to put more stress on these buildings, please, if you can, have them somewhere else. Again, it's not to say that we don't want you to have events here, but we are trying to cut back on the number that we have. Okay, so complete and email. Please do not bring them up here. If at all that you can email them, please email them. If you don't have the ability to email, get with somebody who does. All right, like I said, we're trying to keep the paperwork down. All right. Next, auditorium details. Turn in $250 as cash or check as a deposit. The event will be automatically denied if no deposit is received. All right. Now, for church events, there's no deposit required. But if you turn in a form and we don't get money with it, we're going to ball it up and throw it in the trash. Okay? And then what I'm going to tell you when you come and ask, hey, what's the status on my event? I'm going to say it's in file 13. And then you're going to say, why? And I'm going to say, because I told you to send money in when you turn the form in. All right? Maybe in a nicer manner, depends on the day. But once approved, an email confirmation will be sent to the host. Okay, couple of things here. All right, once we've received the event form and deposit, if required, you will receive a confirmation email from the church. All right, once the event has been approved and gone through the right channels, you will receive a second email stating that your event has been approved and is on the calendar. If you do not receive an email saying that it's been approved and is on the calendar, that means it's not approved and it's not on the calendar. Yes, ma'am?
What's the SLA on that?
What's that?
The SLA on that. How many days will they get notified?
We'll get to that here in just a second. All right. So once the event has been approved and gone through the right channels, you receive a second email stating that your event has been approved and is on the calendar. All right. Within 5 to 7 days to your event, you will receive an email reminding you of your event and who will oversee setting up everything. All right, that's your email reminder. Now, as far as when you will receive approval, that depends on how fast you turn it in and how many other events are in front of you to process. All right, so I don't have an exact time because if somebody turns in 30, we have some from time to time who just turn in bulk. They just come in and they'll drop 10 of them on our desk. Say, all right, here's my events for the next month. All right, so if I have a bunch of people that come and drop those in and you drop, an event right behind it, then it's however fast we get through with the ones in front of you. Okay? All right, during your event, all weekday events must conclude by 10 p.m. That's Monday through Friday. All your events must be done by 10 p.m. All Saturday events must conclude by 5. All right, let me put an emphasis on that. By 5. All right, cleaned up and out of here by what time? 5. I can't tell you how many events here in the past year that I have come up here and somebody, the cleaning crew calls me and says, people are still here and it's 6:30. All right? Now you say, well, that's not that big a deal. It's only 6:30 on a Saturday. You're not the cleaning crew. All right? Cleaning crew has a schedule. All right? Cleaning crew has times that they need to get things done. So please have your events done, cleaned up and out by 5 on Saturdays. All right? No activity may be scheduled during ministry functions. I think that goes without saying. Let me put a great emphasis here. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,001. No glitter or confetti is permitted on property. If found, deposit will be automatically forfeited. All decorations with confetti. No glitter. No glitter. Some people got mad at me this past year because there were some glitter decorations in here that they left behind. I threw them away. Number one, you're not supposed to have glitter in here. Number two, you're supposed to clean up your decorations. All right? You say, oh, you're being so mean. Just follow the rules. All right? No holes are permitted in the walls. All right? All photos displayed should portray Trinity Baptist Church standards and convictions. No contact between unmarried people, immodesty, no alcohol use, etc. All right? For those of you who are drinking up here, we have cameras. We're watching you. All right, after your event, all right, cleanup list should be completed and returned. Okay, I have a note here. If your event is not ministry related, you will receive your refund after the checklist has been received and returned back to the office. You'll see down there at the bottom of the form, there is a checklist. That's a host cleanup checklist. If you are the host and you're filling this out, we will hold you responsible. All right? If your name's on it, we will hold you responsible. All right? Notice there on the left side, all right? You've got your event date, your start and end time. Please pay close attention to what those are. Because sometimes, some people put the event date, and it's the day that they turn it in. And I'm like, no, that's not the event date. You filled the event out, or the date of filling out, you filled it out twice. So I've had some, for instance, to use it as an example, today's what, the 16th? Is it the 16th? All right, 16th. They would put on their event what it is, and then the event date they would put as 1/16/24. Pay close attention, just give attendance to reading. All right, start and end time, number of people attending, host, email, phone number, room set up and ready. All right, this is what time you need it set up and ready. Times, dates, things like that. All right, host cleanup checklist. Chairs and tables need to be broken down. Chairs and tables need to be put away. All right, all decorations are properly taken down and removed from the room. Remember, if your decorations are left here, they will go in the trash. So don't get mad at me when your precious banners and glitters and everything else are in the dumpster and you're trying to sort them out amongst the mystery juices that are back there. All right, because you left them here. All right, all trash taken to the dumpster. All right, notice down there in the bottom right there, there's a lockup person and a cleanup person. Okay? That is the host responsibility to find somebody to lock up for them. Okay? Staff's not just going to automatically show up out of nowhere to come and lock you. You've got to ask somebody and secure that date with them so they can come up and properly lock the building. All right? And then the cleanup person most times is the host. All right? Notice at the bottom there, complete an email to Mrs. Sampo at info@tbctexas.org. At least, what's that number there? 2 weeks prior to the event. 2 weeks prior. Okay? Now, let me say this. Some will turn in an event 2 weeks prior, and it will get denied because somebody else turned an event in 2 months prior. All right? When you know about it, turn it in as quickly as possible. Because again, there are a lot of event requests that come through. So please get those turned in as quickly as possible. Let's go to the next one. All right, fellowship hall details. This is for events that are going to have more than 75 people. All right, I'm not going to read everything that's on this form. I'm going to read you what is not, or what was not on the auditorium form there. All right, so you're going to turn in the money just like normal. All right, it'll be denied if it's not turned in. All right, these charges, that's the $250. These charges do not, I say they do not include the use of the kitchen. You say, but the kitchen is here. Yes, and we just remodeled it, and it looks nice, and we'd like to keep it nice. And so when damages come in, we'd like to have a little bit of money to pay for those things. Okay? So if needed, please initial here for the use of the kitchen, and then it would be a $100 non-refundable charge. That's $350 to rent this place out. That is chicken feed for renting an event center. All right, there's an event center just down the road from my house where people put on birthdays, quinceañeras, and it's a little storefront place, smaller than this. Okay? You know how much they're charging? They start at $1,500. Okay? So $350 to rent this place out and use the kitchen. All right, and a simple request of tear your stuff down and put it away and clean up after you leave is not much. Okay? And then once approved, email confirmation will be sent to the host. All right, all of that is pretty simple. Actually, let's look at the bottom there after your event. Okay, that third bullet point there. Your deposit will be returned to you after proper inspection of the facility is completed and processing has been made through the financial office. Damages or excessive mess incurred during your event may result in the forfeiture of the refund. If damages exceed the $50, the host will be responsible for the extra repair cost. By you signing this form, you agree to that. Okay? So, please, let me put something out. Okay? Please, if you have kids up here, watch your kids. Keep your kids near you. All right? Know where they're at. Okay? All right? We don't need them. I've seen it happen. There'll be adults mingling out here in the fellowship hall. Everything's going nice. And for one reason or another, I'll be up there working upstairs, and there'll be kids running through the hallway or running up and down the stairs, spilling stuff after the cleaning staff has cleaned. All right? You say, well, it's not that big a deal. You're not the cleaning staff. All right? So, please keep track of the people that will be there and watch your kids if you have there. Okay, down there in the bottom right corner, events that do not require a deposit. All right, that's any ministry-related event and the first wedding or baby shower. Okay? Moving on. You'll see there on the back side of that form, there's your diagram for the, or I should say the layout of the fellowship hall. Okay? So many of y'all turn in forms that are not scaled to size.
Hey.
Some of y'all expect like 30 of those 8-foot tables to be just lined straight out through here. Doesn't work, okay? All right. You kind of have an idea of how long some of these, the portions of the room are. So please try as best you can to scale it to size. Okay? Notice also there, never mind. Can we go back? It's been resurrected from the dead. Notice also there in the bottom right corner, this will give you counts approximately of tables and chairs that we have. All right? We only have, for instance, 9 of the round tables. I've had events already turned in this year that requested 12 round tables. We don't have them. All right? So unless you want to pony up the money for us to go and get 3 more, you're only getting 9, or we will request that you use the rectangle tables. All right, it will tell you how many white chairs we have, how many brown chairs we have. Again, those are approximate numbers because from time to time we have chairs that get destroyed. So I will put an emphasis again. Please take care of the stuff here on church property. Moving on. Teen room. All right, this is for events with 50 to 75 people. Again, I'm not going to read through everything, but this one is going to be $150 cash or check deposit. Okay? Teen room, if you're not familiar, is down here in our college building. Just on the, if you walk in the south door there, and first door on your left, that'll be the teen room. Okay? That's $150 cash check deposit. Again, there's a $50 return. Again, those charges do not include the use of the kitchen. All right? So if needed, again, please initial. Understand that it's $100 non-refundable non-refundable charge. For the teen room, let me say this also. Has anybody noticed that the teen room is one of the last few rooms that we have that still has carpet? Okay? Carpet. Carpet is a lot harder to clean than vinyl plank. Okay? If you spill some juice on vinyl plank, usually you can run a mop over it and it cleans it up pretty well. But carpet, that's quite a bit more. All right? To give you an example, we had a business come out and do carpets down in the college building. For 3 of the bigger rooms that we have there that have carpet, plus a little spotting they did in the auditorium, it cost the church $1,500 to do carpets. Okay? That's expensive. All right? Especially when we're taking on spills and stains within a week or 2 of that being done. So please be careful with what you're bringing into these rooms, and be careful with how you're conducting it. Okay? If you see kids running with red Kool-Aid in there, shut them down, please. All right? So please be mindful of those things. Next one, On the back side, again, there's your teen room diagram. And pretty simple, just the 2 TVs and the platform there. We didn't have measurements put on that one. I think that room is like 32 by 23, if I remember right. So try to scale it as best you can to size. Next one, please. This will be our last one. This is the event room. So same thing, it's in the college building, but if you go into the north entrance, down by our Spanish building, if you go into the north entrance of the college building, that first door on your right, that is our event room. That is for events of 50 people or less. All right, same thing, complete the event form and email it to info@tbctexas.org. This one also is $150 cash or check deposit. And, of course, it'll be denied. Does not include the use of the kitchen, $100 non-refundable charge if you do need to use the kitchen. Same thing, $50, it's a $50 deposit. So if everything's cleaned up, taken out like it's supposed to, you will have the money returned to you. And then just lastly, again, let me reemphasize, this is the Lord's property. All right, let's please try and take care of it. And like I said, if you don't care about me or don't care about, the other staff that's trying to at least care about Ms. Ingram having to sort through all your paperwork, please do it properly. Give attendance to reading. And if I could say one other thing, fill out the maintenance request forms and stop catching me in the hallway. All right, that's all I've got. Thank you. Yes.
Can we be uploaded to the site, with church site, because oftentimes people aren't around when they need them, and they just come to the site and they don't have their house.
Well, then that becomes public access to anybody who looks at our website, so probably not. All right, because we're not trying to have.
So if they let me know, I can email it to them.
Yes, so you can call the office and request it be emailed to you. Yes, ma'am.
So we're emailing these to some folks, do we give her the check for the deposit before we email to her, the next service we give them to her?
I would recommend doing it beforehand.
And then so we're gonna email her,
Well, the money will go to the financial office.
okay, because if we're emailing them, then we won't be sending it in anymore.
Right.
So we send money to the financial.
Correct. Yes. All right, good questions. Anybody else? Going once, going twice? Shoot, thought I was gonna get out of here quick. All right, what do we got?
They love those glitter and wedding dresses and bridesmaid dresses and all that, so, hope you don't mind questions, but, like, what happens if, like, you find glitter on the property and it's not decorations, but it is from, like, dresses and...
Well, if there's glitter on the property, okay, so I'm not going to comment on who's approving dresses or what. That's not my area of expertise, thank the Lord. But but if there is glitter found on the property after an event, then deposit will be forfeited. So that's about all I can comment on that one. Yes. All right, don't wear glitter. Anybody else? Once, twice? To be honest with you, I don't know. I've not checked with them on that one. 4. Sometimes people have birthday parties. Sometimes they'll have a second baby shower. Hopefully not a second wedding shower. But from time to time, there'll be like just little get-togethers. People want to do like a little get-together, fellowship with food. So if you do something like that, then yes. Anniversaries, we've had that before. So
So after the event's over, do we come to you guys when the event's over, or how long can we expect our deposit back?
once you turn the form back in, because there's a cleanup checklist there.
Take that back to the financial.
Correct. Well, not the financial office, that'll go back to Mrs. Ingram. All right. Also, let me also say this, our cleaning staff will be instructed to take pictures. So if something is not clean, we will have evidence and we will present it to you as to why your deposit was not returned. Okay, anybody else?
Weddings on there
So reception would be something different. So for instance, if you request the auditorium for a wedding, that's a $250 deposit for the auditorium. Then if you want to do the reception here, that's $250 for here, for the fellowship hall. And if you need to use the kitchen, then that's another $100. So you're looking at about $600 to do a wedding if you want to use the auditorium, fellowship hall, and kitchen. Okay? All right, good questions. Anybody else? Once? Twice? Brother Garner?
Yes, sir. You don't really want a maintenance form if the toilet's overflowing and the raised.
I mean, solid point, solid point. Come and get one of the staff members quickly if there is a toilet overflowing. The emergency box is a text message or a frantic running to come and get us, okay? All right. All right, this is your last question. Go. No, you've been allowed enough questions. Let's go. What do you got?
Do you want to see a list for people to know who to contact for your lockup person, or is it only the staff members? For your event, you're saying, I have to contact the person, but who is my audience that I'm allowed to contact?
Generally speaking, staff. Or other people that are approved to lock up. Yes, we'll collect those here in just a second. It's a joke. Yes, sir. Funerals, I believe, are considered ministry. We don't charge for that. No, we never have. I don't think we ever have. No. Yeah, we don't charge for that. Thank you. That's a very good question. Yeah, unless there's glitter on the casket. All right, I'm not taking any more questions. I'm going to give the mic to preacher before this just goes downhill quickly. Thank you, preacher.
Once we reach the point to where we're concerned about glitter on the casket, it's time to pull up. So now let me just re-emphasize something. You say, Pastor, why are we charging for church facilities? Well, because we begin to get more and more non-church ministry things happening here, and which caused more usage of property, more wear and tear. Things are getting broken, chairs broken, and there was nothing that to replace them with. The church was just having to absorb that. And so that's the reason that once we got to the place to where we were allowing personal events to happen on church property, and again, Brother Caleb mentioned, if you can possibly have a personal event off property, please do so. That will help us. And he was probably being conservative when he said between 70 and 80 events. That's between English and Spanish ministry. I mean, it's every week. I mean, and sometimes multiple times a week, there's something happening. And so we're not trying to make money. All we're trying to do is we feel that charging these fees is fair. And that way, if something happens, we've got something that we can fall back on to try to replace a chair. These chairs right here, folks. Have you been to Sam's to see how much these chairs are? That chair right there, what, Brother Caleb said? How much?
$30 a piece.
They're 30?
30 bucks a piece.
30 bucks a piece. The tables are what, up around 100 bucks now?
100 bucks. Round tables are 120.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's expensive. So look how many of these chairs we got times 30, and this is not all of them. And so it's very expensive. And so if somebody breaks one chair, that's 30 bucks. And so we're just trying to be good stewards of God's property. And I think it's fair enough to charge a fee for non-church ministry activities. And again, Brother Caleb mentioned, we're not trying to discourage people and say you can't ever use church property for anything. That's not it at all. It's just that if we do not regulate to some degree, I mean, we're going to tear the properties completely apart because we can't sustain 100 activities a year. It's just not possible. And so that's what we're trying to do, is just trying to regulate and trying to help be good stewards of that of our property. Now, what we're going to do, Brother Rayleigh?
Yes, sir. I know we have in the past borrowed some chairs and a couple of tables from the church.
Yes.
Do we need to provide a deposit for that?
No, sir. No, sir. But you do need to go through a staff member to make sure. Sometimes, Brother Rayleigh, sometimes what we've been doing is trying to loan out the metal chairs. But since these are so expensive, we've been trying to use the brown metal chairs as loaners. And then what we'll probably do, unless someone is concerned about the appearance of the table, we're trying to loan out our older tables and the metal chairs. And if the newer tables are the thinner ones, you can see the one that Mrs. Ingram's got back there. See how much thinner they are. The older tables, I don't see if we got an older one. Maybe right there. Yeah, they're real thick, and that's the older ones. And that's the ones we're trying to loan out. And I'm not against that. It's not going to require a deposit, but just go through a staff member, preferably Brother Caleb or Brother Tristan. Brother Caleb kind of oversees this area and the tables and chairs. And so if you can do that, we'll, as long as you make sure you have them back by church time. Okay, that's all we ask. What we're going to do is take about 10 minutes real quick and try to field any questions that you may have. Listen, by the way, all the questions asked here, good questions. And the reason we're sharing these forms with you is because you're going to come in contact with people in your class. You're going to come in contact with people because you're a leader. They're going to come up to you and say, look, what do I need to do to have a surprise birthday party for my wife or for my husband? Or what do I need to do to have an anniversary, a 50th anniversary or 25th anniversary? Who do I need to talk to? Well, then now you know who that they need to go to, what forms, all. By the way, does everybody know where the communication room is? Did you cover that? Okay. At the communication room, if you know where the reception desk is here, it's right next door to the reception desk. There's a slot for all these forms. All those forms are there. You'll need to stop there if you're going to do if it's a hard form. We would prefer, if at all possible, that you go online and fill out the event forms. It'll be much easier, and that way we can communicate, send you confirmation. And folks, listen, I'm telling you, coordinating these events last year was almost borderline chaos. It was. Because when you've got 75 to 80 events you're trying to coordinate, and everybody wants, what they want at this time. And listen, last year it was unfortunate, but there were some people not very happy with us because we had to deny their request because someone else had already put a request in for that, and we had people that had events that were only having 25 or 30, and they said, well, can I use a fellowship hall? You can't. And the reason being, this is a larger event. The event room is for 50 or less. This is for 75 to 100, I think it is. I think it's what's on the form. And so that's why. I know it'd say, well, why can't you use it? Nobody's using it. Well, because we have some guidelines and standards we need to stick to. Because here's the thing, if I let you come in with 25, then I got to let everybody come in with 25. And so I hope that you understand this. The reason we're doing this is trying to control. You say, what is it, preacher? It's controlled chaos, right? So we're trying to control a lot of the events because it's taking so much time for the staff, the cleaning crew to try to manage all this. And I don't want that. I don't want events to be the emphasis. I want soul winning to be the emphasis. I want reaching people and building people to be the emphasis. And so I hope you understand that's kind of why we put these regulations in. So what we're going to do for just a few minutes is give you an opportunity to maybe ask some general questions. So I'm going to start it off tonight because we've had several instances in the past couple of years, people asking about, we host weddings, and obviously we have funerals here. During weddings and funerals, many times people like to do memory videos, and they like to do pictures and things of that nature. In the past, we kind of assumed that our church folks understood where we stand on certain things, but my daddy had a saying about assuming. So I'm not going to assume anymore. So here's the policies now. If you have a wedding or it's a funeral and you want to have a memory video, and then all the pictures have to be approved because we've been surprised with pictures. And then also we're going to ask that you provide the pictures. The pictures will have to be approved, and then you will put the video together with no music. Okay, we will control the music in there. Elvis is not singing in our church anymore. Okay, because Scott, you need to be a little bit more cautious. Now, but everybody understand, I'm being facetious, but you understand what I'm saying. So to avoid hurting people's feelings, and listen, I've had to, because last year they brought a video up here. I'm not going to tell you who or what the event was, because you'll know what happened. They brought it up here the day of and wanted to use it. I had the guys go over here to the auditorium, review it, couldn't show it. Not only the music was wrong, some pictures were way too risque. Okay, and so and they weren't very happy with me, and so we couldn't show the video. And we're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but folks, does everybody understand? We've got to be as consistent as we possibly can, because I'm telling you, if we're not, all we're doing is destroying our credibility. And when people see, well, look, there's this video, and Pastor allowed that to happen here, then he threw mine out, and you understand how all that goes crazy at that time. You say, well, preacher, I remember back in 2014. We ain't talking about 2014 no more. Okay, we're talking about 2024 moving forward. So all pictures of any memory videos for weddings and funerals, anniversaries, it doesn't matter what it is. If you've got a memory video, all those pictures will have to be turned in and approved, and the video will be made with no music. So if it's on a thumb drive and it's turned in to the office, Brother Tristan, who heads up our graphics and design, he will put the music to it. You say, well, what if I don't like the music? Well, if you don't like Amazing Grace and Down at the Cross and Love Lifted Me, and they're probably not singing, it's probably just instrumental, then we can't do it at all. And so at least we're providing opportunity for you to have that. It's just we're going to put the music to it. And again, I hope you understand, but even if you don't, this is still how we're going to operate, just because I'm sorry, folks, I've been burned enough. Okay, I'm not going to be burned anymore, right? Because I have to answer for it. You know, we have people attend a funeral, attend a wedding, and they're shocked at what the pictures up there. And I thought, you know what, no more. Okay, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And so anyway, just so that you'll know. So now what I'm going to do.
Brother Lester?
Yes.
We should also limit the formats of the videos, because not all formats will play on our equipment.
That is correct. That's correct. That's a good point, Brother Fisher. So what is, just for their benefit, what is the general protocol?
The most common, and everybody should be able to do it, the MP4.
Okay.
That should be what we ascribe to.
Okay, and they can actually put that on a thumb drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So does that make sense to everybody? If you don't know what that is, see Brother Fiesler after this is over. But yeah, and that's a good point, because not everything works with our video system and our AV system. So we need to match up. Now, if you have your levels of leadership, open it up. If not, just follow along. We're not going to hit all of the questions, but I want to just cover some general questions here that that you may have, and then I'll open it up to you, just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Like, for instance, here's a question that's a good question. I'm sick and going to be absent from my ministry. So who should I notify? Should I notify the pastor, the ministry director, or my department coordinator? Okay, but who's the ministry director? That's the staff guy, right? Okay, so the answer to this is you could, if you can't reach the ministry director, you can contact the department coordinator. But you want to start in the chain of command, the ministry director. If you can't get him, then you go to the department coordinator. And if you can't get him, I guess you can call me. And if I remember to contact the ministry director, then we'll get a replacement for you. But if you're ill, try to give us as much notice as possible, and so that we can find someone to cover your responsibility. Here's another one. Maybe you work in a children's ministry and you have a child that's under your supervision that's become ill. So what do? Do you send the child with a helper to get their parent? Do you observe the child and wait until the service is over? Or do you send a helper to go get the parent? There you go. Okay, so you want to make sure that, you say, well, what if the parent's not here and it's a child off the bus ministry and they begin puking their guts up? Well, you're going to have to work through a bus worker or a bus captain at that particular point and call the parents and say, look, you're either going to have to come get them, or if they're not available, 2 workers are going to have to take them home, right? And but I know that's going to be tough, because you're thinking, wait a minute, if I take them home, they're going to vomit in my car. And so you may just have to put a Tide Kroger bag around their neck and do something like that. But I think everybody understands you are never, ever, ever to be alone with a child. Ever. For any reason whatsoever. Whether you're picking them up for church, never be alone. You say, well, I'm a guy and he's a guy. I said, never alone. Yep. No, it doesn't matter whether it's a boy, a girl. Never be alone with a child. All you're doing is opening yourself up for a lawsuit, and the church. So be careful about that. All right? How about this? I observe another worker in my department that's not following the expectations as outlined in the policy handbook. So do I, number one, remind the worker of the policy? Do I tell other workers that I saw it or observed it? Or do I mention the observation to my ministry coordinator? Okay, always go through leadership. Always go through the chain of command. That's the best. And then let me just hit one more here. Let me look down here. Okay, here's a good one. How about this? A child in my class informs me of a situation at home that gives me cause to believe that she is a victim of abuse or neglect. The key phrase there is cause to believe, right? So what do? Do I listen to the child and then pray with them? Do I tell the pastor, since he's the mandatory reporter, and let him decide? Do I realize I'm a mandated reporter and am required by law to follow all mandates for reporting suspected abuse? Or do I submit immediately the cause to believe in writing to a pastoral staff member? Okay, you can do one or you can do 2 of the 4. Okay, one of them is submit immediately the cause to believe in writing to a pastoral staff member, or realize that I'm a mandated reporter and I'm required by law. But let me say, when in taking that on, you might want to get some counsel before you just fly off the handle and make a phone call. It'd probably be best to talk with your ministry coordinator or your ministry leader and say, hey, look, this is what I observed. And then, but here's the point. The point is, if there is a cause to believe, then that needs to be reported, particularly if the child says something about it, right? So I know this, you said, well, preacher, what if the child's just trying to get the parents in trouble or they're angry? Listen, you don't know that. And so the point is, you can get the church in trouble if you just neglect this and just say, well, that kid's lying or whatever. All right, so we've got to be real careful. And but the main thing is that it gets reported and it's written out. A cause to believe is written out, which is your observation, what that kid told you, and make sure it's all in writing. And you could go to a ministry leader first, and but other than that, if you are mandated to report if need be. Okay. All right. Anybody else have a question? I just kind of went through some things like that just so you would be familiar with just some general items. Those are in your levels of leadership. Does anybody have a question that's just been on your mind that maybe we can try to answer, Brother Albert? Yes, and we in our levels of leadership, it's not been clear. It's just been stated 5 absences, but that is 5 planned absences. For instance, if you went on vacation for 2 Sundays, okay, that's 2 of your 5. Does that make sense? But there are cases, Brother Albert, that happens that is unavoidable. Like for instance, last year we had, from time to time, we had people that were in level 4 leadership that it was inventory. They mandated that they had to work, and basically it was they work or they got fired. All right, so that we don't count that against them. Or if, say, God forbid, you got sick with pneumonia, and you had to miss a month, okay, we're not going to hold that against you because that's unavoidable. It's 5 planned absences, is what it is. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. But how did you exceed the 5 Sundays? Okay, then that's fine. But let's say you were already at your limit, and that happened. Then those are not avoidable, and so that wouldn't be counted against you. Okay, what we're trying to do is again, we set 5 as a number. That's not granted. That is just something that I've felt that, you know, that's an absence, a planned absence every 10 weeks. And I think a Sunday school teacher needs to be there as often as they possibly can. And again, I understand illnesses happen, unexpected things happen, and but we're not going to you know, set your hair on fire, you know, if you are out 6 or 7 times, but 3 or 4 of those are unavoidable situations. Okay. All right. Someone else have a question? Jennifer?
Is there a thought that we could possibly change? I know that we do this every year. Is there a possibility to do it like an all-day Saturday, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, instead of doing 2 nights? Or maybe later, maybe February, March? I know January is kind of a crazy one, especially if you're in the county world and you're doing your hand. You're going Monday night, Tuesday night, after all working all day.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it pretty much this is like one time you do?
Well, we actually, Jennifer, have looked into that. The problem is that the further we get into the year, the busier our church gets. And that's the only reason we tried to do it up front, because this is, for us anyway, it's one of the least busiest times. We actually have done some things back years ago when we started this. We actually tried to do a Saturday, and only about 1/3 of the people, because for some people that Saturday is their only day off because they're at church all day. And so we have tried that. Matter of fact, Spanish ministry is going to try that this year. They're going to try an all day Saturday thing. So we're going to see how that works. And but we have put some thought into that. It's just that the further we move in to February or March, the busier we get. And but we will take it into consideration next year and see if that works. I'm kind of interested to see how it's going to turn out with our Spanish ministry, because their leadership training is all day Saturday. And so we're going to see how many people turn out. Okay? Ma'am?
If you have a class, church-related part, and you need to have it in the event room?
Yes.
In the college building, is there going to be tables and chairs available for those types of events?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Not like the padded chairs, but just like
Yes.
regular chairs and tables?
Yes.
Will they be down there, and will we need to clean those up, or just?
What you'll need to do, if you set an event in the event room, and of course on that event form, I don't have it up here, but did somebody have the event room? Let me see. What's that? The gray one? Which? The green one? Okay, event room. Here it is. Okay.
If it's church-related,
Yes. Okay, down here, it doesn't have the tables and chairs and things on there, but yes, they are available, and we just need to know what, and the figure on the back, and draw it, and yeah. But
And
they,
after the event, does cleanup crew?
yes,
Bring them back here to
Yes.
this building?
yes, yeah, we just need you to throw the trash out, clean the tables off, take all the decorations down. The cleanup crew will break the tables down, the chairs, get them back, sweep it, mop it, and set it up for Sunday. Yes. But you're talking about a ministry related, yeah. But, personal, there would be a rental fee.
Right, like half notes.
Yes, yeah, that's ministry, yeah. Okay? Anybody, are y'all warm?
Yes.
Man, I'm telling you.
I just
It
turned
is
18.
warm in here. So how about something to drink, and how about some fruit and veggies over here to eat, and maybe that'll cool you off, all right? That sound okay? Or I can open the back doors and let 15 degrees in here. Y'all don't want that? Okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. We've gone a little bit longer, so we need to expedite things. So what we need to do is, if you are a teacher, teacher's helper, English, or drive-in, bus ministry, you will need to remain in here. Now, I would highly recommend, if you're a children's church worker, you might want to stay. If you're just going to go home and cut the TV on and watch TV for 30 minutes, I'd stay here and learn about this new program that we're going to institute for taking roll, because you might transition one day from a children's church worker to a Sunday school teacher, and it might help you. But you'll stay in here with Brother Boussard. If you are safety team or connected with safety team or usher, you will go upstairs. So what we're going to do is get our refreshments. Eat your refreshments here. Don't take them upstairs. If you would, please. I don't know that it's been cleaned up there, but that way we don't have food up there, because nobody cleans up there until Saturday, Friday.
Oh, it's already clean.
Oh, it's already clean. Okay. So if we throw food up there, it's going to sit there for a while. We don't want that. Okay? Y'all know those little critters that seem to find food? Yeah, they're called cockroaches. All right? Yes, ma'am. Brother Tristan. Okay. All right. Website.
Yes.
The website. Okay. Okay. All right. Everybody good? All right. Let's have a prayer over the snacks. And if you are not a teacher, helper, children's church worker, or a safety team, or usher, then get you a snack if you want, cup of coffee, but you're free to go. And then the rest of us will stay and finish out. Lord, bless the food. Thank you again for the time we've had together in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, the quicker we can get through, the quicker we can start, the quicker you can get out.
I was gonna give you a hard time about that, little course you filled out. You take the form and you stop the.
Be sure to mark that priority one and drop it in the box, and it's not.
Just set it right on the school.
He kind of feels like,
I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a priority.
You're in the middle of that. That's standing before your Yale.
Sure, I'm not excited.
Yeah, we got solving this.
how you doing, Patrick?
How are you? Gonna have a really weird question for you first. What are some of your favorite from childhood? You don't have to have an answer right now.
I don't know if I do have a favorite. I'm not sure that I ever really learned anything. One thing that I know is it's more like a sign. It's called red rice.
I've heard of that.
And it's not Spanish rice, it's not dirty rice. Its primary ingredient, as far as I know, is called coconut.
Yeah, it's like peppery.
I'm not
Kind of
sure.
it's red seasoning, right? Yeah, it's a nut.
It's like a red.
There's a South American version.
I used to pick them off the bushes with my mom, where there'd be these prickly pods, but they didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
And so you grab these brown pods that are all prickly everywhere, and you crack it open, and they have these little red nuggets in there, these seeds, and they're very small. And if you touch them at any point, you're gonna have red. So I would say it's
Kind of like a paprika that you get.
yeah, I think so. Kind of maybe a bitter, like a real base flavor. It's not but it's a little bit of salt, and I don't know what else. It's delicious.
Like,
It's like you could eat a plate of red rice without eating anything with it, but you wouldn't really want to do that.
right.
You could.
Yeah, it'd be like a staple side or something. Yeah. So the reason I'm asking is, you know how Google listens to you when you're having conversations and stuff. And I think I was talking to Abigail about tomorrow or something. But I got an article that came up in my newsfeed. It was like 15 tomorrow dishes you gotta try if you're going to Guam. I'm like, well, I've never gone to Guam, but I'm starting to look. I'm like, man, this food looks really good.
Yes.
So
Like something I would tell someone they have to try is a dish called pelican. And that could be made, I guess, with chicken too, or with beef. Normally the beef is raw, and just the acids from the lemon juice or
it's kind of like a ceviche.
I'm not sure.
So it's cooked in ceviche is like seafood
So
cooked
the
in
meat
lemon
actually
juice.
browns.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't stay red.
Right.
Yeah.
Like picnic.
And if you use chicken, of course, you have to cook the chicken. So, but yeah, and that's made with, I think it's made with either brown coconut. I don't have any idea.
Yes, sir. We'll probably start. Are you going to be a part of this? Okay. So I'm just trying to see everybody. As soon as this is over, see right on there.
Okay. Yeah, I left my bag there from the first class.
I was going to ask you that too. What do you do if you're in usher/safety team and teacher? Like, what should you go to?
Yeah, well, because it's recorded, I'm gonna be with the teachers, and then I'll miss it. That's what pastor's degree was. And I understand it because I understand they're gonna be implementing a brand new attendance system.
Yeah, agreed.
And so I have to.
I've only heard about it from my wife being in the office. So, but I told her, I said, she can inform me what I missed from that one, and then I'll go to the other one. They just put me on the security side. So it's like, well, I probably should see what they have to say there.
I would think that too, as far as security. So I didn't hear a pastor say one or other about that.
I'm just gonna go for it chicken. I'm not on this. Even though the insurance, it's like I don't.
Even though, I do some of the security tests sometimes, but not the nursery, not the foyer person. I'm usually on the side of this. How you doing, Bob? Amen. I don't know how old you are. Oh, praise the Lord. So my card was appropriate then.
Yes.
I was a joke card where I got this really old beat up card, and it looked like it was old and beat up. It wasn't new and distressed, it was legit distressed. And so
First thing that made me laugh was happy birthday. He brought out mom with Bob. As soon as I opened that door, so look at this card.
yeah. It just said something about the happiest day or whatever, other than, I can't remember how it worded, but something you would say to a mom.
Yeah.
Other than the day of my birth, something like that. And then I put a personal note in there saying something about, I can't remember why I talked it on the card being, I like excuse card or something. It's seen as many years as we have.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun writing that card. I was really fortuitous because my wife had this Tupperware of cards that, for lack of a better term, that she accumulated dumpster diving.
Caleb.
So wherever
Which
she
room
saw
upstairs? The little
department stores throwing away stuff, she saved it. And so then I organized them just a couple weeks ago. I was like, well, perfect timing. I came across this card. I'm like, this will be great for a joke. That's what I did. I feel like I want some snacks too. You, Patrick?
That's not good. We might. I gotta go to the upstairs. Just getting hang around for that.
Yeah.
So, they got me covering.
All right, folks. If you've got your snacks, if you'll come on in. If you are a teacher, group leader, teacher helper, head of a children's church, which I think would be helpful if you stayed in here. That way we're going to present a program to you about keeping roll. And to me, it's a great program. We can expand on it and in the future. But Brother Boussard will go over that with you. If you are safety team member, safety, usher, then you will be going upstairs. I'm not really sure which room Brother Robertson's got set up there. Hopefully the heat's on. But if you're a safety team member, usher, you need to be upstairs. But leave your food and drinks down here. Okay? Because we need to get started and because we are running way behind. All right? So Brother Woody, Brother Robertson will be upstairs. I didn't see Brother Brown, so I don't know that he's... Okay, he must have to work tonight. Okay, so please, 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 if you're where you're supposed to be, come on in, have a seat. If you're a teacher, group leader, class helper, you're in here, safety team usher, you're upstairs. So if you'll head that direction, then we can get started. So as soon as you're done upstairs, then you're free to go. And just make sure you get your levels of leadership form in ASAP. Okay?
Alrighty, I will try to be brief, okay? So, can everybody see the TV okay? Okay. Can everybody see the TV okay after I do this? What about now? Okay, I recommend those over here. If you go ahead and come over here, that will help your sight. It'll help the walking through process. Brother Gabriel, if you could hand one of those out to everybody. Brother Gabriel is going to give you guys a packet step-by-step on how to access Breeze, how to log in, how to do all of that stuff, but I'm also going to walk you through it so that way you see it in real time. Now, real quick though, before we jump in, does everybody have my phone number? Does anybody not have my phone number? Okay, if you have my phone number, can you take your phone out and shoot me a text of your email and your name, okay? That's going to be very important, getting you your login information. Okay, so take a minute and shoot me an email, or shoot me, yes, if you can, shoot me your email, and just go ahead and put your name just in case I don't have your log or your name in my phone. Okay, I should, but just in case. This will be for your login. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a temporary password for you, okay? Your username and your password will be emailed to that email that you text. So that way you can log in and you can start checking in on your class. You can start accessing your class, okay? Okay, my phone number is 817-876-8731. If I can get it. It's 817-876-8731. And then Brother Gabriel, can I get one of those? And then again, if you can just shoot me a text of your email and your name, please. So that way I'm not like, who's this? Then that works too. If it's not though, please name and email, okay? Because I don't want to have to make your username Funky Guy 97 or whatever you set your email as. My phone number is 817-876-8731. 8731, sir. Okay, now if you guys can multitask, on your paper, you have a step-by-step guide, okay? So step number 1 is, it's kind of hard to see, but if you go to breezechms.com, that is where our login info, or that is where our church management system is found, okay? Step number 1, you click on the login button right up there at the top, okay? It's circled with the step 1. You click and log in. It's going to take you to another page where it wants you to put in a subdomain, or basically our church's management software. And that is TBC Church Office. Okay? And again, this is just a step-by-step guide. You keep this paper so you have it. So once you click continue, then it takes you to step number 3. And we're rolling really quickly because I want to get to the actual demonstration part of it. Okay? Then you sign in. This is where you put your username and your password. After I email this to you, you are welcome to change this however you want. Okay? You don't have to keep the password what I said. You don't even have to keep the username what I said. This is just to get you guys rolling. Any questions so far? Pretty easy. Well, okay. Okay. Hang on one second. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Okay? And I will say, while I'm waiting on this, if it doesn't happen, we're just going to roll with the paper. Okay? We are just rolling with the paper. Once you get signed into your account, okay, then you will go up to the step number 4 is those 3 little bars. You click on that, and that opens up the option menu. You go down here to where it says events, and you click on the event, okay? It'll bring up a list of events. So for example, we have English bus ministry. That is purple bus, navy bus, and silver bus combined, okay? So once you get to the event, you click on which event that you are. If you are an adult teacher, that is found in English Sunday School 1, okay? So you would go to English Sunday School 1, and let me try this one more time, because this would be so much easier to show. Aha! No, I'm running off my phone. You don't have to keep looking at me. Okay. It didn't work. All right. So you click on your event. Okay. For example, I click on the 3D teens because that's my class. If you are in the Hallelujah Sunday School class and you take roll, you would click on that one. If you are in the tots, if you're in the bus ministry, whatever it is, yes, ma'am.
And it goes by the whole month, so it says January 7th at the top, and it always will through January.
Yes, yes. So you want to make sure that you scroll down to the proper date of that Sunday school class. Otherwise, you'll be checking in for something that's either not yet to be checked in or already been checked in for. Okay? So once you get to that, you click on your event. It's going to bring up a box that looks like this. You click on that little check-in button. Okay? And once you click on that check-in button, it then takes you to step number 8, where you see a bunch of names. It's the whole Sunday school class compiled together. But if you click on the little setting icon, the little gear, it brings you to this next step. Where it brings you to step 9, and you want to click on tag filter. Okay? So if you clicked on the bus ministry, this is where you would separate out your bus. Okay? So you would click on tag filter, and it's going to come up with blue bus, silver bus, and purple bus. You click on the bus you want, you click on apply, and those are your students. Okay? So it's really, really simple. And once you get your login information, and once if you've sent me that text, I will send you that login information tomorrow, so that way you have it. And I'm going to try this one more time. Yes, please. Let me see the remote quick. I want to try it one more time because it makes so much more sense to walk you through it. But do you guys have any questions so far? Okay? Yes?
So, are we not going to be taking roll, or the bus people going to be taking roll?
You would take roll for your Sunday school class, because there is a bus Sunday school class event. So you would click on that, and then you would click on your 4 and 5-year-olds, or whatever you are, through the tag filter. Okay. Come on, work. It's an Apple, actually. I literally tested it 5 times. Yeah. When you need it most, it doesn't happen. So, I know this paper seems like a lot of steps to get through it, but when you get to your login and you go to the dashboard, it just flows really easy. Now, I will say they do have an app. Don't use the app, okay? Use the login on your webpage, which I wanted to. So let me explain why. The app for some reason is slow. I think they're working on it. I think they're doing an update. They're doing beta tests and all that kind of stuff. The app is slow. So what you do is you go to the web page, and there's that little share button on your phone. You click add to desk, or click add to home, which, yes. Okay, we are in business now. Oh, you don't need messages. Okay, so we are on the dashboard right here. See this button right here? You click this, and you scroll over to, I've already done it, but it will be down on this bottom bar. Okay? It runs so much smoother. It runs faster. You're not just waiting for login time. So real quick, let's run through. You're on your dashboard. You click the top button. Go down to tags, or go down to events. Scroll down to the event that you're looking for. Okay? Bus Sunday School class number 1. Check in. Go up here to the little cog. Scroll down. Tag filters. 4 and 5, 4 through 6-year-olds. Now you have everybody that you can check that is on your roster. Yes. Yes. No, I'm going to have tablets upstairs for you. So you just, so it's basically like you would check in on the paper, except for on the tablet. No, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, so if you're just for juniors, that's up to you. You can do it. Okay? Now, does that work for you guys? So, okay, let me go back. Yeah, the date is right up there at the top, and so it's on the list here, right here, on the top left corner. So you want to make sure that it's the date of the Sunday. No, so that is a good question. Don't click the add a student button. We still want you guys to fill out the card and turn it in. We will add them to the roster because if you add a student, it adds their name but doesn't actually add them as a person to be visited. Does that make sense? So all we get is Jamal Jackson and we have no information. Sure. Yes, so, yeah, so this the bus Sunday school class is made off of the bus list, correct? Yeah. So yes, you're not gonna have to worry about the little kids telling you their name. This is just like the checklist that you're using now, except for it's digital. Now, one thing I wanted to show you guys as Sunday school teachers also. If you are in the bus ministry and you want to know where everybody in your route lives, you click on View Details. You go down to View People. Now, it's going to show you everybody on that list. So what you do is you go up here to Filter People. And you scroll down to Tag. I missed it. They won't. Yeah. This is just my system. Your guys' will be a lot more narrowed down. Because we have staff permissions, you guys will have teacher permissions. Okay? So you go down to Tags. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Tags. So, bus Sunday school. And then let's say you want to visit the 10 through 12-year-olds. And this app is really fun to play with too. So then you have all of the people in your class. And if you click on their name, it brings up their profile that has their address, their phone number, and all of that. Now, there are people, though, who have marked their address, their email, whatever it may be, as private. If you come to a profile and that is marked private, then if their address is marked private, that means they don't want you coming by to visit them, okay? So you have to be very, very careful with that if somebody marked their phone number private, that means that they don't want you calling them. They don't want you giving out their phone number. Does that make sense? Yes, Ms. Beasley.
From right there, are they going to see those privacy things?
Yes, so that will be right here. If they have a privacy setting, it'll be right here.
So it's not right there in that first look that you get, so you need
Yeah.
to make sure that you scroll down enough.
Yes.
And respect that privacy. that
Exactly.
you want.
Yes. Because we have certain people that their jobs are classified by nature. They don't want their information given out. Okay? So you as a teacher have to make sure that you respect that. If their address is private, don't show up at their house because that'll get a lot of people angry. Okay? Yes?
So can Lester get on there and go to the class that he doesn't know if he'll need to and look up my address?
No, I don't think so.
But only the teacher should be able to
Yeah.
see his class, right?
Yes, yes. I will double check on that because like I said, I have all of the permissions.
Lester knows where I live.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from, but no, I don't think so.
I think we go look at the Willie Garner and see where all
Yeah. When I create your user, I put you guys in for a specific purpose. And that's what you see. That does. So let's go to Cristiano. Down here, if you scroll down, it has their age and their birthday. Then we will put it in based on the card that is turned in. So if you just call the office, Mrs. Villa is the one who handles the database. Oh, is it? Yeah, so just call the office and then, or shoot a text even is fine, and we can update that easy. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. Yes, yes, it'll be on your roll that very next, Monday, Tuesday, whenever. Yeah. Yeah, if bus records are on there, it'll be like again, it's just like your roll sheet that you get now. The information is updated as it's put in. Yes. Yes, yes. Permission forms, all that kind of stuff, and then you do check in from your phone. Yes, ma'am. That's up to you. Yeah, that's up to you. There'll be nothing on your require or your username that will hinder them from or allow them to see things they don't need to see. So that's up to you, though. I don't think so. But I mean, they've been giving us their information now. So it's the same system that we've been using since January of last year. So, yeah. But now you guys have access to it. Yeah. 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 Yes, ma'am.
That number is automatic for that child, of course, actually, when we have guest visitors.
Yeah.
Then that's what they pay for. Is there any cost to have this?
I got an email last week that they're actually working on something in that manner. It'll be a text sent to the parent saying, hey, your child was checked in, here's the check-in number, and then they respond, picked up, and all that kind of stuff. They're working on it. I don't know how long it'll take, though.
The second question is, we discussed this earlier, that I'm not seeing that the just kids, all that. And when I go into the previous survey, I see nothing narration in.
So I figured out what that is. They're in the English Sunday school. It's in there too. So we just need to make sure that we do the check-in on the Just for Kids event.
So come next week.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that'll be there, ready for you guys to check in.
Talked about maybe for the launch of this, that for a week, couple of weeks, we do the paper.
Yes.
And the.
Yes. So.
electronic, so we have that.
Yes, so we're going to do the papers and electronic for a few weeks just to make sure that you guys are used to using the software, that you guys get real comfortable with it. It's a really easy thing to use, and it's fun too. For now, the numbers, again, they're still working on that software of the tech stuff, but for now, it will still be the numbers for picking up the kids. Yes, ma'am. Yes. No, that's okay. Yes. Sure. Yeah.
Once that happens, where
guys want to take it into the class after everybody's checked in, that would be good. That way it's just not sitting out there, because we do have bus ministries coming in and all that kind of stuff. So I'd recommend, yeah, just when you're confident that everybody's in, just bring that tablet in the class. Yes.
Okay, so they're checking people out, but we were told not to check our kids in there.
Okay, so that, yes, so reason why, well, with nursery, the thing was don't check them out until the next shift, because, okay. So yeah, I mean, if you're in there in the nursery and you're the last shift and your kids are leaving, you can go ahead and hit that checkout button. Yeah, because then that gives us a record that they were checked in at 9 a.m. and checked out at 11:59. Yes, yeah. As long as they're being picked up for the day, they can be checked out. Yeah. Anything else? Yes. So if a visitor walks into Sunday school, you hand them the Connect card just like you've done, and you have them fill it out and then turn that in just like you have, and then they will be on your roster or your event. Yes, yes.
So we don't do anything electronic?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you don't click the add button, because all that does is add them to the event. It doesn't actually add them to the database, but it does add their name to the database. So then there's duplicates of people. Well, if, right, yeah, they'll be on the bus roll, so they'll come over to yours. Yeah. Yes, that will be the goal ultimately. Yes. Yeah, yeah. And on the app too, it does have a head count function. So if you are just on your bus and you want to just count them real quick, you can count them without having any names or anything like that. But checking in does the same thing. So, any other questions? Yes, sir. That's a good question. Yes, yes. So I would say Brother Barlow can still pick those up. He's certainly willing. No, you can't. So yeah, I would say Brother Barlow will still pick those up. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Just like you guys have always done, that works great. So the goal for this system, and then we will end, is twofold. For check-in, but also for you as a teacher to know who was there. I didn't have time to go through it, but there is a function where you can pull a report and see how many times people in your class have attended, or how many times they have not attended within a month, within 6 weeks, whatever you set the parameters as. Yes. Yes, all of the Sunday school teachers are. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Anybody that has to do with handling the role or that has handled the role, yes. So, like I said, I will get you guys your login information. It will be sent to you in the morning, and then you can log in. If you guys have any questions, though, with Breeze, let me know. I'm glad to help you through it. They're also really good at answering your questions. There's a little question mark down at the bottom right. And if you ask them, hey, how do you do this? They send you a step-by-step on how to do it. Yes?
I was going to say personal experience. I did not like it at the beginning, but the more you
Yeah, it can seem a little confusing at the beginning because you have to check tags and all that kind of stuff. But once you use it, it really becomes pretty easy. Yes, ma'am. Well, no, we'll go ahead and still let her do that, so that way you guys as the Just for Juniors know who's coming to your class. Reason why we went that way is so that way, number one, Miss Francis isn't having to handle 2 classes. But that way, also, you guys as the juniors know who's in your class at that time. Yeah. So is that it? Any other questions before we end? Yes, sir. Well, yeah, I think we have public Wi-Fi. But if not, you can always check them in later. I haven't had any issues with my phone not connecting. The signal can hinder the speed, but it's always come up. Yes. For now, we can talk about the bus classes though. Any other questions though? Yes.
What's the official full electronic launch date?
So I would like you guys to start using it Sunday, start getting comfortable with it, and the third Sunday in February, I would like to go fully digital. That way we're not having to print out papers anymore, that we're just using Breeze. Okay? Yeah. If it doesn't work and for whatever reason the system's locked out or whatever, yeah, or take a note on your phone. But again, the issue was it wasn't connecting to the TV. The system was actually working, so I haven't had any issues where people didn't get checked in if I clicked them. Okay, so it seems to be working. But if it doesn't, write them on your hand if you have to, and then we'll get them checked in. Okay? Yes. 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 It won't be emailed. We don't have to worry about that. Yes. Yep. Yep. Any device, your phone, your tablet, computer, as long as you follow those steps, you can log in. So. No, it's just the speed of the app is slower. It still works. It's just I like things to be faster. So the website works faster. Yeah.
I didn't realize that you could go to the website. I could see all the time.
Yeah.
A little slow.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't had any yet, and everything is backed up to the cloud too. So we have, yeah. And real quick, and then we'll end it for reals. They do have very, very high level cybersecurity. So they have, I forget what it is, but it is way up there, more than other systems that we've had in the past. Yes, sir. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that works for me. If you guys want to set up a demo time to walk through, make sure that you guys understand all the features, I'm perfectly willing. So that sounds good to me. Anything else? Okay. I'm really excited about switching to this. I think it's going to be great. It's going to help you as the teacher to visit your class because you won't have to call the office and be like, hey, what is that phone number? I don't have it. It's right there on your app. It's right. And plus, if you click on the address, it pulls up your GPS, takes you right there. So, but be very careful. If they've got private information, it's private for a reason. Okay, so if you see, and you'll see it under their phone number, you'll see it under their email, you'll see it under their address, marked as private. That means you don't use it, okay? They're working on that now, yeah. So they are doing a lot of updates and a lot of changes, and that is one of them, yes. Yeah, just don't show up and be like, hey, I know your address. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, there are customizable columns. I don't know if they're that customizable, though. I'll have to check on that. So, okay. I think let's go ahead and end it, and I'll be around for a little bit, so if you guys have any other questions, I'll be glad to answer. But I'll go ahead and get you guys out of here and preach it.
All right, you over 60 people, do not panic. We will never leave you nor forsake you. All right? So there's going to be access to these guys. Brother Tristan, as you heard him say, we're looking at the 3rd week of February. So that's, if I did my math right, that's about 5 weeks is what we're looking at. And so we want you to get used to it. But for the next 5 weeks, you'll kind of play with it on your phone, but you'll also have the hard copies as well. But don't get so reliant on the hard copy and say, well, I'll figure out the breeze part of the last Sunday. You probably not. And so if this way, it helps us to get transition. Yeah, for some of us older folks, it seems a little scary, but listen, folks, if I can do it, you can do it. It's that easy. Amen. All right? And unless you're Brother Caleb, he's the youngest old guy I've ever met. And so, but it's going to help us. I promise you. There's so much more access to what we're doing. And folks, to be honest with you, I've got pastor friends all over America. Our church, compared to many of my pastor friends, we're in the Jurassic age. They've already gone to this and have been 5 years ago. I mean, we're that far behind. And it's just that, you know, I've been putting it off, and finally, it's just at a point to where so many man hours and so many things are required. This is going to make it much, much easier on you once we get used to this. And so this is the wave of the future. And so it's going to take some time for us older folks to get used to it, but I promise you, it's going to be a help. Okay? Well, listen, it has been a joy. There might be a few more drinks over there if you want to get a cup of coffee to go. Thank you. Let's pray, and you'll be dismissed. Okay? Lord, it's been a good night, and we've had a lot of fun, and we've learned a lot. And Lord, I pray that all the things we're trying to implement, now, all of our folks will understand that we're trying to do this for the glory of God so that we can get the work of God done in a very good fashion. And so, Lord, we're trying to expedite our roll taking and to make it accessible for folks easy for them to be able to visit the class. And so a lot of benefits, and it's just going to take some time to get used to it. And I pray that you would bless all that's been covered tonight in every area. Well, thank you, Lord, for the training in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Thank you for being here.
Not quite all the bad.